Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Peter Kennedy, Kennedy's Garage, Portlaw. Today we have a 2015, 16, something along those lines anyway, Nissan Qashqai. And we have, or the customer's complaint is check engine light is on. First thing I'm after doing right now, and maybe this might make a video or maybe it may not, I do not know. Anyway, try and get rid of that glare. Code scan. I do, for me, on every problem is with a car nowadays, I'll do a full code scan, because a full code scan gives you kind of a big picture rather than just, you know, engine based faults. Where am I going? What am I after? Just do a code scan on everything and try and join the dots between what you're looking at and where you're going to be going. Okay, now first thing I have here in engine management is exhaust E/throttle cont. I don't know what that means. There's a continuity or whatever the heck it is. Control maybe. Actuator 1DEF. Now I don't know. There's another frame of thought with cars. I've often said that cars and scan tools are like a foreign chap or a chap that doesn't talk English talking to you. So they'll talk and everything's cool, but sometimes the detail that we can speak about, where I'd slow down in my conversation to ye might say, okay, I understand what he's saying because he's slowed down, he's gotten into the detail. Sometimes with scan tools, they don't get into the detail, or they could phrase something weirdly. What I see here, when I see throttle, a lot of people would say to me, is that not just that thing down there? No, that in car terminology is the accelerator, and then the throttle is going to be something that's throttling something. So with the throttle body, which is allowing air into the engine, which will be open but throttle the engine of air when you turn the car off. And then also we have a throttle body on the exhaust stream. For low pressure EGR flow, it starts to slightly put back pressure on the exhaust, which inhibits flow through low pressure EGR system, if that makes sense. The low pressure system is the EGR system after the exhaust manifold and behind the DPF, where in the interior there's no pressure. So the throttle on the exhaust is to create pressure, to create flow in from the low pressure EGR valve, if that makes sense. So what I'm making of this anyway is exhaust E/throttle control actuator. I don't know what DEF means. That's Renault's abbreviation, which I'm going to tell you straight and fair, I'm not familiar with, so I don't know. Then if I roll down on my code scan, I have ABS and I have vacuum sensor voltage. I'm not paying massive amount of attention to that as of yet. Not because it doesn't concern me, but because maybe I put up a video recently about a Mazda 6 where I was looking at my vacuum sensor or vacuum pump through the live data I had from the vacuum sensor in the brake booster, I think it was called on that. But that, I'm wondering, could that, if it was sticking open, or could it create any problems? I don't believe it can. Would it create any exhaust pressure that would be different than what it should be? And could it affect that? So I'm not going to be too concerned about that. I'm not concerned about voltage with it at all. I'm probably saying that if anything, the vacuum pump on this thing may not be operating correctly. Maybe I'll have a look in a few moments. And again, I'm going to use the numbers that I have in my head from the Mazdas on this Nissan Qashqai, okay? This is what I'm going to go after first. And I'm suggesting and are saying that I'm hoping, where I'm going looking first, is on the exhaust system. The actual throttle flap is, they can get stuck, they can get seized, they can just, water contamination can make them not be as free as what they should be. So I'm hoping that fault, I'm going to go down and look and see something stuck on the exhaust system. That's what I'm in theory hoping on my first visual of something. I'm going to get the car up in the air, have a look and see if we can make this go away. P1481 exhaust E, whatever that is, / throttle control actuator 1DEF. God knows. Actually, we're looking here, that's past, so that could have been in there, you know, from old. A lot of them actually are in here as past. I can see sun load sensor I believe, which I'm not going after, is right there on the bottom of the dash. They do fail on yokes, but I'm not concerned about it at this point in time. voltage below 9 volts, clutch position sensor circuit passed. They're actually all passed. I'm not concerning myself with any of these. For me, I'm going to go in, have a look at this. I will potentially then dump all the codes or get rid of them to clear the palette of what the car is seeing in case anyone was working on stuff, in case a battery went low in it at any stage outside of my realm of thought. I don't really mind. I'm just going to clear the whole lot of them out once I find what the heck is going on here with this, okay? Code scan. And we're going to roll on and have a look at this thing. Get it up in the air. Okay, guys, and I suppose the angle of trying to get a visual on this thing, I've taken off the actual throttle motor on the exhaust. So this is on the exhaust. There's the subframe. So we're heading towards the back of the car. Front of the car is up that way. And here is our throttle flap. And you can see quite visibly it's kind of sticking and or jamming. Not wicked, but it just doesn't feel as it should do, right? Because of that, all I'm going to do is I'm going to spray ease nile on it, try and see can I free this thing out. Once I get a bit of oil up and onto it, I'm going to move and twist and turn and stuff and try and just free this thing out a little bit, and hopefully it'll fix the job, fix the problem. I'm just happier with the way that actually feels now. It's not snagging, there's no resistance in it at this point in time. Spring was pulling it nearly all the time, but just over there it was just snagging or catching or somewhere. At this point in time it's not, it's free, which is good. All I done was pump the ease nile, worked it back and forward, back and forward, back and forward, and that's really all I'm doing, just to be cautious that it's not actually going to get stuck. Right, I'm going to show you very simply if I can. That little leg there, okay, sits in and onto that little slot there. So when this thing is being offered up or going up, it's very easy to get it into place. I will need two hands and stuff, but there's little spacers, that joke, and actually I had them there. A couple of these little spacers that need to go in there. Okay, but outside of that, there's just one longer bolt here, one shorter bolt there, and there's two little 28, 30 Torx on this side and two little size 10 nuts on the other side. Very, very easy. I didn't even take the motor off it. It's just hanging down there. Time to reassemble this thing and just see what way it acts. Once I'm finished, I'm going to clear faults. Happy enough once I see something wrong like that sticking, that's going to be at fault here rather than a motor or electronic failing or something like that. We're going to reassemble, clear faults, drive for a while and see where we end up. Throttle motor stuck back on, as I said, 25 or 30, whatever it is, Torx, and back around. There's a little bit leg that I'm talking about sitting into the actual flap, and at this point in time I can it's driving the motor, but I can move it relatively freely, even though I can hear it moving the motor in here itself. Okay, but that's back together. Give her a spin. See you. We're gonna have a look at position on this on live data just to make sure it's working freely now. Okay, guys, a little bit of more, I suppose, data here. We're just looking at the position. So this is our exhaust flap position set point, exhaust throttle position. So this is where it's desiring it to be. This is the actual. So right now at idle, which we are stopped on the road at idle, it's being held open, but I just froze my data at this point. And if I scroll back, you can actually you can see it there. Wide open throttle. It's wide open. It's open to 66%. But once I stop or change gears or drop down to slow down or any of that crack, you can see here that our position, our set point and our actual are kind of mimicking each other fairly good, fairly as they should do. When I go back a couple of, you can see again here 66% while under load, idling, opens, both of them mimicking each other, stay open then for a while, and I'm believing that we are done on this thing. Right now we're back to running live data here, but we can see that our actual and our desired are mimicking each other. I think I'm happy enough at this point in time to call this a fix. Generally what I find, as I said there, once you find something obvious and wrong and you do it, it's keep it simple until you need to go bigger. But on this case, that thing sticking the way it felt, I wasn't happy with. That was what was going to give us that crack, and I'm happy to say at this point in time it's done. Yeah, maybe I'll have a little fast look at vacuum pump pressure. We'll do that actually. I'll do that right now. Actually, maybe the glare is massive here, so that's why we have to get in. I couldn't find brake booster pressure in. Sorry, she wants to find a fault code first. I couldn't find brake booster pressure in engine management. ECU input signals, will we go for that? Should we go for all? Yeah, I think we'll go for that. Sorry about the glare again. Accelerator, pressure sensor, yaw sensor, brake, switch, stop lamps off. I actually can't see. I actually can't see brake or vacuum pump pressure, so I can't. Okay, we're going to cut it at that. Look, you don't need to be seeing this anymore. I'm classing this as a fix. We're going to get out of it. We had no faults in engine management here after a 5 or 10 mile drive. I'm going to be happy enough to say, so there's no point me going in here. Engine management, ECM. Guys, simple fix on this one. A little bit of ease nile off the throttle motor off the exhaust flap. Bit of jiggery pokery with ease nile on it. Free it out, and this thing is back up and running. Guys, if any of my hints and tips are any good to you, please like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you all in the next cartoon. Peter Kennedy, signing out. See you later, guys.